we mentioned in the beginning, just has Super Bowl 55. Son, let me tell you, the city of Tampa is litty like a titty. So we're going to dive into this game a little bit. Obviously, we saw with 38-9 win with the Bucks. And overall, dude, just a dominant performance from the Bucks. Just every aspect of their game and their game plan, they were honestly dominant. Tom Brady had an amazing, that might have been one of the best I've ever seen Tom Brady look in a Super Bowl, which is crazy to say. Tampa's defense was flying all over the field.
Got a couple sacks in there.
Brian Suckup hit himself a low 50-some yard field goal. I mean, they were just getting everything from every corner, which I expected. I expected the Bucks to have a great game. I think obviously the big thing in the conversation is the other side of the ball, Kansas City. It's just kind of like what happened. To think that Kansas City only scored 9 points. Patrick Mahomes has never lost by double digits in his whole career, and they almost just tripled that 9 score. And here's the thing. I mean, Patrick Mahomes did not have a bad game. That dude was kind of running for his life.
Kind of, dude.
Where he was parallel to the ground and sideswiped that joint.
Incredible. I saw a Bleacher Report stat, dude. He in scramble yards and running forward, he ran just under 500 yards. Like it was literally running for his life. Like they were on his ass, son. And Tampa just had such a good game plan. I mean, shout out Todd Bowles, honestly the MVP of this year. But Tyreek was doubled 85% of the game. And they were running that cover 2 the whole time. Nothing over the top. Yeah, that Antoine Winfield got his revenge there. That was hype to see. Keep your receipts, son. But they took away the deep and the sideline, just forced everything in the middle. And then those Tampa Bay linebackers were good enough to cover it. And then that rush was insane on Patrick Mahomes. He had nowhere to go. There was a couple drops, which you don't see that out of the Chiefs, bro. Travis Kelce, and crew, they just don't drop the ball. Mahomes literally hit people in the face mask twice, both drop balls. I mean, he did everything he could, but end of the day, it was just one of those days for Kansas City, bro. I mean, it was just a stinker. I mean, Harrison Butker had a great game. Shout out for him, dude. But wow, man, I was stunned. In the second half, you're just waiting for the Chiefs to turn it on because that's how it goes, and it just never happened. Like, I don't know. That was insane.
Yeah,
Bucks +3.
Yeah, dude, fucking to the moon, bro. Chiefs were definitely a little down bad in that game. But yeah, I mean, big shout out to Bruce Arians. Big shout out Todd Bowles, man. Todd Bowles, what he did with that defense all year was nothing short of incredible. Like I said, they teetered off a little bit in the regular season, but came back around to the playoffs. And obviously in the Super Bowl, that defense. I mean, that was like some 2000s Ravens shit we just saw right there.
Incredible game plan, bro. And they just executed it. They were on their asses. And
which from the offensive coordinator standard things. I mean, this was the same thing I said when the game between Tampa Bay and New Orleans happened. I said, one of the biggest reasons the Bucks won is because Brady came out and realized, like, hey, we don't have to do anything crazy here. Maybe not necessarily towards the Chiefs because the Chiefs can run up a scoreboard, but just believed in his defense and said, hey, we don't have to do anything flashy. I don't even think he broke 200 yards, did he? But he had 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and they were able to get such a balanced offensive game from the running game. That boy Leonard Fournette, dude, is a walking freak.
Big body, playoff Lenny out in the cut. And then in that in that third quarter, I mean, they were up how they were. They needed to run time off the clock. They were just feeding that boy. He was getting first downs every 2 attempts, drove 80 yards, or not 80 yards. What the fuck am I talking about? Drove like 50 yards and got a punt. They ate like 7 minutes off the clock. It was incredible, dude. That offense.
Kansas City's punter there. That dude had a rough day.
He had that shank too. Dude, that was so bad.
That was bad, man. Just I don't know. That's definitely the worst game since the Mahomes era the Chiefs had played.
For sure. Just as a whole, I mean, they got into penalty trouble real early, too. Best bets, one of the props I said it was going to be under 80.5 yards, but Chiefs broke that themselves. I mean, it was insane. Seeing Tyrann Mathieu and Tom Brady chirping, son, that was hype. Seeing fucking Tom Brady's old ass running down the field to talk shit in his face. I mean, it was awesome.
That's that psycho Tom, bro. If you would, Tom Brady really can be a savage sometimes. I know he's just he looks like some old white dad or something, but that dude on the field can really be a savage. And Tyrann Mathieu was John, And Tom Brady like looked at him and said like, I'm coming after you. And I know that touchdown to Antonio Brown was right on Tyrann Mathieu coverage.
Maybe he just kind of snapped his ankles real quick, dude.
And I definitely was some penalties. I know, haters.
There was a couple soft penalties.
100%, but I don't think any of the calls were wrong. I think they were all the right calls. I definitely, in the Super Bowl, you could definitely argue whether or not they should have been called or not, but they were all correct calls. I mean, all that. I mean,
in retrospect, take away all those penalty yards, KC still doesn't score. They still had a rough game, not just because of the penalties. So I mean, that's not even an excuse.
Yeah, no, that defense definitely got flustered, and I mean that's just you can't give Tom Brady any sort of leverage or a leg up because he's just 100% going to take advantage. You know what I'm saying, with the penalties. I know a lot of people, were quick to rigged, #rigged and all that stuff, but I mean the real thing of this game was Tampa Bay's defense had like 40 fucking pressures. On Patrick Mahomes. I know the offensive line for the Chiefs, they had a couple guys out. They had to replace a couple guys, move them around. Tampa Bay just took advantage of it. I can't sit here and make excuses for Kansas City. I mean, Tampa Bay that was overall literally just the greatest team effort I've probably ever seen. And like I said, Tom Brady bringing home the MVP, which I think is well deserved.
Deserving. Sure. Who's your runner-up MVP? You don't give it to Brady. Who you give it to?
I would, man.
For me, I got to go Gronky Kong, man. He had a huge game.
Gronk fried up. I mean, I could see fucking Fournette.
Could have got Devin White on the other side. Shaq Barrett, 2 sacks in the Super Bowl, boy. I mean, like.
I'm just happy. We mentioned before, I'm a huge fan of that boy, Levante David. I'm so glad to see he finally got himself a ring. Dude's been on that team for a long time. He's got great numbers for his career, finally getting a little recognition. Obviously, Devin White, superstar. Antoine Winfield shut it down. This boy, Sean Murphy Bunting. He
made a couple of plays too, dude. I didn't hear that name on the broadcast like you usually do, but you heard it.
Usually hear it like 5-6 times, but all around team effort, man. So really, really got to give Tampa some credit. I'm sitting here just watching this game, like my mind just being blown that this man Tom Brady's got 7 of them things.
It's like he's elevated past the conversation, like the best in the NFL. Obviously, we're talking about like greatest athletes like we've seen just in sports. He's just starting to enter that realm. I mean, it's incredible. You'll never have someone do what Tom Brady does in the NFL. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, because you look at a guy like Patty Mahomes and think maybe he could do it, but
he's got to go get 8 Super Bowls. Like, he's not what?
Yeah, it just doesn't seem like
the longevity. It was just everything worked out perfect for Tom Brady, and it's not even over yet. He's talking about we'll be back next year, son.
I fucking believe him, dude.
People like Mike Evans are coming out and saying, "Hey, I'll take a hit on my contract. Let's figure this thing out."
Let's get those fingers heavy.
Seriously. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. I mean, Tampa obviously has all intentions of running it back here.
And I actually believe they could. I think for the most part, everyone, but I think Shaq Barrett is really under contract. Ndamukong Suh going to be a free agent. Depends really.
That pass rush, dude. You change the game of football if you can have 4 people up front and get to the quarterback, and that's exactly what they did.
Bro, like love him, dude. Like I said, that defense. If they decide to run that back with that entire defense, that's shmoney. Offense, I honestly think if this team can stay exactly how it is, they're going to be probably in the same position next year. Like I said, you can't bet against Tom Brady, and you got to think of the path this man took. This man ran through Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, and I mean the game against the Washington. I think the game against Washington might have been the biggest challenge they kind of had. I think Washington kind of gave them the biggest fit out of any team. Taylor Heineke and the boys. So I mean,
that's so crazy. You're not wrong, but that is kind of wild. Son.
Yeah, I mean, the Washington, the football team had the number 1, number 2 defense in the league, and then on the road, you go ahead and you beat, Drew Brees and company, and then you go handle A-Rod and the boys, and it's really insane to think about, man. I bet Pats fans right now probably don't know how to feel, but that's just one of those things, man. You just got to give it up to Tom Brady. Got to give it up. Like I said, not even in football-wise. The second closest is Joe Montana's got 4 rings. Terry Bradshaw's got 4 rings. Other than that, a lot of guys, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, they all got 1 apiece. and, could possibly go ahead and snag another by the time those guys' careers are done. But dude's got 7 of them bitches.
No, for real. It's elevated past the conversation of the NFL for sure. I mean, literally just like it's crazy to think what we're saying. I mean, you say this all the time. It's like we weren't really like old enough to see Jordan play. We got LeBron, dude. We got Tom Brady out here just running amok on people. It's incredible to watch. You just got to really step back. Like, what is going on, dude? Just imagine they run it back. Perfect season next year, win the Super Bowl. I mean, they're only getting better from here. There'll obviously be a few replacements, few people. The team's not going to be exactly the same. No way. That's just improbable. But, they're going to be just as great as they are this year, next year. And they really turned it on as the season went. Everyone coming in there, Tom Brady just brought Gronk, Fournette, AB over with him, all had to learn a new system. We really just saw them turn it on in the playoffs and get better and better every game. I mean, they're just going to pick right up where they left off. It's going to be
you got to think. I mean, they had no OTAs, no preseason. I know every single team had to deal with that, but especially when you're bringing over Tom Brady and all these new pieces, I mean, there was a lot to figure out. And they stumbled a little bit in the season. I know going into the playoffs, one of the biggest concern was they were like 1-5 against teams that were over 500, that was a valid argument.
That's just strength of schedule, though. You can't control that. You're going to put someone in front of them, they're going to beat them. They don't really care who it is.
At the end of the day, if that man Tom Brady is in the playoffs, I don't see how you can bet against them. I mean, I gotta admit, if you would have asked me 5 weeks ago, I did say I do like the Chiefs to possibly win it.
How could you not? Going into
that game against the football team, I was like, dude, I think the Bucs are about to win this championship. It just felt like that. I can't bet against Tom Brady, but. On the other side of things, I mean, listen, I think the Chiefs are going to be all right. I think Patrick Mahomes is not going to be the last time you see him in a Super Bowl. I don't take away from the Chiefs. They obviously had a bad game, a lot of drops, a lot of penalties. But I think they'll be able to run it back. They'll be in that conversation for as long as Patrick Mahomes is on that team. He's just that good. But, big shout out to Bruce Arians, man. Big shout out to Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles definitely deserves himself a head coaching job somewhere. Former Jets guy. Hated to see him go. But, Byron Leftwich, they got some killers. Man. Bruce Arians is the oldest coach to ever win one. That boy, like 68 or something, had his mom in the game. She was
95, yeah.
That's awesome to see, man. Like you say, that's a Pennsylvania boy right there. It's just awesome to see, man. Like I said, that game ended about 10:30, whatever, Eastern time, bro. I'm 30 minutes away from Raymond James. I thought some motherfucking bombs were going off. I could hear the shit going off at the stadium. People riding around, beeping the horns. Just excitement, man. The city is lit right now. First time in history, all 3 major sports teams have made it to the championship. 2 of them won it. Just crazy for Tampa, man. Like I said, I feel Tom Brady stays there, Gronk stays there. AB got himself a Super Bowl ring, man. Definitely a Hall of Famer. Has to be at this point. You could argue he could have been without the ring, but now he is. AB just cemented himself as a Hall of Famer. And I mean, going forward, looking at the roster, obviously, Shaq Barrett and, Shaq, it's always weird because there's a guy, you go ahead and win a Super Bowl team, you put on a performance like Shaq Barrett. Like I said, Shaq Barrett at this point, he could either potentially take a little cut and just stay and try to run it back, or team's going to be looking to pull up with the Brinks truck for that boy. They're going to
for sure.
And it's well-deserved too. But like I said, that team can stay 85% of what just happened on Sunday. They're going to be able to run it back. Man, that was a fun game to watch for sure. History we just witnessed, man. Tom Brady, absolutely insane. So as far as the game goes, man, that was about crazy. You got to talk about this halftime show.
Wait, just overall snap reaction. What you got, bro?
What is the halftime show?
Yeah, rate it 1 to 10. Snap.
I feel like every single year, everyone says it's the worst halftime show until the next one. I think I couldn't really hear that good. I think audio was down bad a little bit, but I'm a Weeknd fan. I liked it. I think he sounded good. The performance side of things, I mean, the running on the field with the old diaper masks thing. But I don't know. Snap reaction, I was bobbing my head a little bit. It was all right.
Yeah, same. I mean, Weeknd's got hits, bro. I like the Weeknd for sure, but
feel the best in me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Just the hype for the show was crazy. But
told me I didn't know he had that many hits. I know all those songs. I'm like, I told you.
But we got to talk about the $7 million this bro said he's spending. Like, maybe I just don't know how much shit costs. But like, what was $7 million about that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
You didn't get paid. None of the Super Bowl people get paid.
I'm not saying it's a bad show. I actually thought it was pretty good. I mean, you got all the girlfriends at the party. That's the best part. Shout out. But I don't know. It really wasn't bad. You got the memes out of it when he went like inside the stage in that mirror room. Yeah. Those have been funny. But like I'm saying, $7 million, dog. Like,
yeah, I don't know. That might have been fabricated a little bit because definitely didn't look like $7 million.
Maybe sure. I just don't know what money is. Like, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, unless they were just going to have him come out and stand on like a stool, he literally had to pay for that whole thing, which he might have. I could do that, but yeah, I mean, I wasn't mad at it at all, man. Weekend's got some hits. I thought it was a good little performance, man. Like I said, I was bobbing my head. Like I said, I feel like everyone, like I said, yes, I feel like everyone says that every halftime show.
No, definitely didn't hate it.
Until the next one. But a big shout out to the Weekend, man, dude, motherfucking star boy. I thought it was a good little performance. I don't know who they're gonna have next year. Morgan Wallen probably, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, man, that was fun, man. I'm so happy for the city of Tampa. Good little game right there. I don't know, dude. We got any more takes on the game, bro? That was just an awesome football game, dude.
Yeah, it was awesome for everyone but the Chiefs fans, man. That was rough. That was tough, man. I mean, it just really just overall stinker from them, bro. It just happens sometimes. Got in the Super Bowl. It's just the worst time to get got.
They got in the Super Bowl, dude. Everybody gonna get got, but I'm gonna make sure I get mine, though. That's what Tampa did.